Few investments today are as essential to business success and digital transformation as applications. The complete portfolio of existing and planned applications is what defines customer relationships, revenue, models, employee experiences, and business operations. Many of the organizations we work with are challenged to keep pace with the demands and with extending the existing investments in teams, applications, and infrastructure into these new domains. The opportunity is, if you're modernizing your applications, but you're running them on legacy infrastructure, you're not going to really realize their full potential. And conversely, if you're modernizing your infrastructure, but your applications, you're not taking full advantage of the environment that you're creating. So I have today with me 3 of VMware's premier partners, representing software developers, system integrators, and infrastructure providers. And they're here to share their experiences in transforming their business and their customer businesses through modern apps. So let me welcome Simon Hayes, Senior Vice President, Business Development and Channel at Confluent. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you.
Then we have Eric Kaplan, CTO of Ahead. Thank you, Eric, for joining us. And then we have David Kenner, Senior Partner, Global Practice Head of Wipro and CIO Advisory. We really appreciate you all coming today and spending time with us in this very important journey that we're about to go on.
Thank you.
So we're going to just have a fun roundtable today and get some of your thoughts and your input into this as we go. We just have a few questions. So let me start with David. Where are most customers today in their modern apps journey, and how can you help them in the journey?
Sure, I think you've raised a lot of very good points there. And when we look at our client base today, clients today, they have a very complex environment. Most of our clients are very global just by the nature of their business. When we look across their portfolio, they're looking at how we can bring in change faster into their organization. As part of that, modern apps and infrastructure is becoming more and more intertwined in the client's environment. So what we're looking at is how we can provide modernization strategies, design, an end-to-end solution across Kubernetes and across multiple cloud environments. So we feel like we've got some very good solutions that we're going to talk about today and go a little bit deeper.
That's great. It really is bridging those two worlds, isn't it?
Correct.
Eric, where are you on the customer's journey?
I think right now a lot of our customers are trying to understand what their application portfolio looks like, what cloud infrastructure they need to be hosted on, whether that's in the data center, in the public cloud, or at the edge. And we're helping our customers evaluate their options and the portfolio of solutions that are out there and really help them determine what's the best fit for their applications as they look to modernize them, move them to containers, and most importantly, reduce management through better tools like VMware Tanzu Mission Control.
You're really meeting those customers right where they are and then helping them get there to the next, down the next phase of the journey. That's fantastic. Simon, how do you see the intersection between modern apps and multi-cloud?
Well, traditionally, modern apps have been built in a modern environment. They have been built in what has started out to be the cloud environments because developers need access to those tools and infrastructure and the flexibility that Kubernetes and containers bring. And so what's happened is you've ended up with this new apps being developed in one environment and traditional apps being in another. But what you would need, obviously, to do going forward is to leverage the core capability, the core assets of the company that they have in the legacy environments, but make that data available to power the modern applications that the customers need to build. Mm-hmm. And so that requires a full hybrid and multi-cloud strategy and capability. You need an environment that can work across those different environments seamlessly in order to make that work.
Yeah, and I think this whole notion of data analysis and data analytics that you guys bring is huge. And going into the multi-cloud, they're going to need that data. So that's really great to hear. Eric, tell me why containers and Kubernetes are important to your business and your customers, and how you see, the container space evolving.
Well, our customers are looking to develop new products, modernize and optimize applications that exist today that are serving their customers. And that's all about increasing the velocity at which they can produce software at the end of the day. So for many of our customers, they're really looking at containers as part of that journey, not only for the portability and isolation that it provides, but automation around the development processes that they need to embrace in order to modernize their applications and infrastructure. Right now, a lot of our clients are trying to understand what are best practices, what should they and shouldn't be doing. This is very new to a lot of them, and that's where services and consulting comes into place to help them through that journey.
I bet they don't even know how to get started. So you're really helping them understand how to start.
Yeah, and it's not just from a technical perspective, it's also from a cultural perspective, a process perspective, and really stepping back and understanding how are their teams working today, where do they need to evolve to tomorrow. So the technology often becomes the easy part. It's the people and the process around it that we really have to focus on.
David, next one to you.
Sure.
How does Tanzu align with the rest of your VMware portfolio?
If you kind of look across our portfolio, we've invested a lot of money in capabilities across the boundaryless data center, which obviously we partner with your firm on. As part of looking at that, applications and infrastructure need to come together. So we have invested, we kind of anticipated this convergence, and we anticipated this, and so we've been building out capabilities and teams to really bring these capabilities to market. We view Tanzu as being an integral part of that overall strategy.
Yeah, and I would imagine that in Wipro, you've got quite a few pieces that all fit together and with the bench.
It's a very complex ecosystem. On our side, on our client side, we've got teams that focus on the application side of the house as well as the infrastructure side of the house. Clients don't buy those solutions or services in a siloed manner, so that Tanzu is one of the ways that we use to start bringing our own internal teams together. Clients are looking for that holistic end-to-end solution for their ecosystem, and I feel like this is a great natural fit, not only with the strategy that we're implementing, but also, again, across the entire, I would say, design and architecture ecosystem, bringing it all together.
That's great. And really, this is kind of for all of you. You can just pitch in and we'll have a conversation. What business value does Tanzu really bring to your bottom line? And you know, let's start actually with you, David. What is it that you see that really is low-hanging fruit that really drops to that bottom line that then you can build on?
Yeah, I think it's important to kind of put in perspective where our clients are today to answer your question. Our view is the easy work has been done. We're now moving into the back office, we're moving into the mainframe areas, and so the complexity level is going up. So being able to bring in a solution that simplifies the applications in the back end office is, to us, a value add back for our clients, and we believe those are additional dollars that will drop right to the bottom line by simplifying our overall approach.
Wow. Simon, what do you think?
Well, we're very excited by what Tanzu brings, because in the past, customers have had to choose between having a secure on-prem flexible infrastructure and a modern application environment. And this brings those things together. And so it allows customers to access the data that's in their traditional systems of record and build those modern applications in whatever location makes sense for them. Is that on this prem? Is it on that cloud? Based on whatever security parameters, whatever location parameters are needed, this really opens up that flexibility. And we think that the growth of Tanzu and the flexibility that brings is a great complementer to Kafka and Confluent brings to enable those enterprises to have the security of infrastructure and data to be able to drive the modern applications.
Yeah, and you provide so much portability for them.
Absolutely. That portability is the key. In the past, you viewed portability as being, oh, I can run it here or I can run it there. But what you actually can do is to decide where you want to run the specific application, and then where do you need access to that data, and they can be in different places simultaneously to be able to sync across the different environments.
That's great. Eric, what's your perspective on this on the bottom line?
I think about what our customers are trying to do, and it's, as I said earlier, develop new applications, develop them faster. Every one of our customers is a core VMware customer at the end of the day, managing VMs and vSphere. And if you look really at the container landscape within many of our accounts, it's very fragmented today. One team may have started with one container orchestration solution, another maybe doing something in the public cloud. So I think for Tanzu, it's about simplifying a lot of what our customers are trying to do from a management perspective, allow more flexibility, and bring the vSphere administrator and the developer closer together at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's huge. That's a whole new business model for you, isn't it?
It is. I mean, we're making investments coming from the infrastructure layer on up to the application, and we're trying to really bridge the gap because we believe that the lines are blurring between infrastructure and applications, and that there's really going to be a meeting of the minds more than ever when it comes to those two sides of the coin. And we really need to help our customers see that it isn't one or the other. We have to make the infrastructure teams, the application teams work together to build applications together faster and help impact the businesses that they're supporting.
And David, just to build on what Eric just said, what investments are you guys making that really take advantage of modern apps and Tanzu and fit it into your strategy? What investments are you seeing as needed?
So we pretty well anticipated this, as I mentioned earlier, that this convergence has been happening for a while. And so the investments we're making are specifically, how do we wind up building Tanzu into our overall, not only from a go-to-market perspective into how we're messaging this to clients, but really part of our overall solutions. Very similar to how we did with the boundaryless data center. The whole notion that Eric mentioned earlier around location transparency, being able to move from on-site to a public cloud, that is part of the overall solution that we're starting to continue to invest in. So we feel like this is still part of our overall integral strategy.
That's great. This is really exciting that you guys are building up and that you've seen this coming now for quite some time. Simon, what about you? What investments are you all making that you see that is really necessary in this new space that we're moving into?
What we're seeing is that we really want to make Confluent Platform and the investments that we've made in securing and making that an enterprise quality data platform available across Tanzu and across the clouds. So we want to make sure that we're a first-class citizen on Tanzu so that developers can get access to the best-in-class developer services to go alongside the Kubernetes to enable that modern applications to be developed wherever the customer needs them to be developed and run.
You know what I love about what all of you have said is that you're bridging all of this. Every part of the business you've got a bridge over, bringing them all together, linking all of these pieces together, as you said, in a convergence. It's really exciting watching what you're doing to go into this transformational time. So as we think about what are some of the parting thoughts that you all might have as we start thinking about takeaways for our audience? Any one of you would like to start?
I would just kind of throw out, clients today are still struggling with where to start. Okay, I've got some apps over into the cloud. I am working with multiple cloud providers. How do I bring that together in an end-to-end solution? And that's where we're focused. Most CIOs, CMOs, CDOs today, where's my organization going to be 3 years out, 4 years out?
Yeah.
That is complex for a large global organization dealing with thousands of disparate applications. And so our job is really focused on helping the client not only lay out the business vision, the business case, what are the impacts on their organization, and what's the value that they're going to return back to their business stakeholders, and keep it very business focused so that that business outcome is very clear after a 2 to 3 year period of time.
I would just say this is a journey that people are just getting started on. So if you look at the adoption of containers, it's still relatively small within the enterprise today.
Yeah.
And we need to be looking at the financial, operational, and technical reasons why to change what you're doing today and move into a containerless, microservices-based methodology moving forward. And that takes time. We have clients that have thousands of applications, not hundreds, not tens, but thousands. Not every one of those is going to make sense to touch and refactor or rebuild. And so we need to sit down with our clients and work with them to figure out the strategy, as was just mentioned, and figure out what makes sense, when, and build a plan in order to be successful and be responsible back to the business and focus on the right place.
You really are a trusted advisor, as they call it. You really are an advisor to your clients.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. What about you, Simon?
Well, I think the key thing is to realize that the customers have a lot of really valuable assets today. They have a huge amount of knowledge about their customers, a huge amount about their environments, but it tends to be sharded across a lot of different systems. And so as they are looking to leverage those assets to build the modern ones, to be able to compete in the new world, to look at those assets and see how they can free them, to actually make them available for those new sets of applications. And the technology exists today. You can do it with the modern application environment that Tanzu brings, what Kafka and the Confluent bring from a platform, a data platform capability. You can enable customers to rapidly get to develop some of those new applications, which can really make a difference.
See, that's the other part that you bring up that I think is so key, is they have so much already there
Absolutely.
that we can leverage. And each of you have actually brought that up, is that they can build on what they already have, but they need advice, they need guidance from technology providers to help them.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, listen, I want to thank all of you for coming today and sharing your perspectives on how to actually move modern applications architecture. You all represent the promise and challenge of the market today. You know it inside out, and you have all your customers really explaining to you the help they need. And cloud native principles, containers, Kubernetes, microservices are redefining how applications are built, run, and managed, but both now and in the future. It's VMware's ability to support the most demanding applications, driving the most ambitious business strategies that made our technology ubiquitous. So today we're bringing the market the next step in our evolution. This is exciting times. A complete portfolio for modern applications that will accelerate innovation in our customers and unlock the potential of modern applications around the world. I'm excited. I think we're on to a new era. The portfolio will have far-reaching implications for developers, for IT organizations, for VMware partners, customers, and for the cloud, as you all brought up. So through VMware Tanzu, you can enable your talent to thrive in the future of multi-cloud by delivering new tools to developers, new opportunities for your customers' IT, organizations, and new markets for your business. So we think that the products are actually at the point of unlocking for the next 20 years of market innovation. This is going to be our new age for the next 20 years of what we're actually going to do. And we're looking to our partners to help capitalize on this tremendous opportunity. And we can't wait to see what we build together. We're super excited about the next era that we're all going into. I really want to thank you all for coming in today and giving your time and sharing your perspective and your stories and how you're actually building your models around this and what real customer stories that you've told today. Thank you all so much for coming in and the commitment and working our partnership together.
Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's great.